It's a bit cold out here, isn't it? Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the time is upon us. Let us embrace the moment as it is. Let us become one with our true selves. Let's tackle the topic of the new year. New year, new you. It's almost Christmas, which is the beautiful birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And that should be celebrated. And once you're done celebrating that, you can look forward to the new year. And the thing about the new year is that new year, new me, new year, new lifestyles. It's the perfect opportunity to change who you are. And maybe you're happy with yourself. Maybe you like who you are. But me personally, I think there's always room for improvement. And so, briefly, last time we talked about purity, we talked about perfection, godliness, and we're gonna dive a little deeper into that topic right now. And so, the question becomes, what can you do to become close to godliness, which is what you should want? My answer to you is a long one. It's not going to be an easy, simple answer, but I'll start with this. You need to humble yourself. Human beings are brilliant creatures. I mean, look at what I'm doing. I'm recording a video on my phone, which I use to connect with people all over the world. That's pretty fascinating. It's a pretty fascinating thing. And so human beings, they're miraculous in some sense. Even just the ability to speak, the ability to come out here in the cold and make a video, something about it is all very magical. And it's important to acknowledge the share in divinity that human beings have. We are still physical, fleshy creatures. We're still fleshy creatures. You can touch me, I can touch you, and we're kind of constrained to the mortal coil of this realm. You need to eat food, you need to drink water, you want pussy, you want dick. Hey man, I'm not judging. You want a big titty goth girlfriend, I understand, okay? You want love, you want a home, you want all these things. That's your body. Your body has desires. But you cannot neglect also the mind, the desires and the needs of the mind, as well as the body. And what the mind desires is typically some kind of fulfillment. The mind requires purpose. The mind requires the holy word of God, just as the body requires food, the bread of life, whatever. And then on top of that, you need to consider the needs and the desires of the spirit. And the needs and the desires of the spirit, I haven't really fully grasped onto what the needs and the desires of the spirit are. But my point is that you are a complicated combination of faculties. All human beings are. And your body, your mind, and your spirit all have needs and wants. And they all have their proper place in the foundation that is you. So what am I going on about here? Well, it's the new year, and with the new year comes a lot of new opportunities. And I think, and people are always, they're so fucking genius. They're geniuses. These people, they're geniuses. They're like, oh, New Year's resolutions, you can make your fuck those people. The people that are, all the doomers that are like, oh, you're gonna do it on New Year's? You can do it right now. Fuck those people. Use the new year. It's a symbolic kind of thing, it means something, especially the idea of having a year be totally excellent from the very beginning to the very end. There's something very romantic about that idea, and that's what I would say is take your time in these last few weeks, in this last couple of weeks. Take your time and relax, spend time with family, spend time with friends, eat good, eat well, eat whatever you want, smoke the rest of your weed, smoke that last pack of cigarettes, drink yourself to death. Well, not to death, but drink yourself silly. Do all those hedonistic, do all those things that you love to do that you probably maybe should regulate a little more. Go ahead, do it, go all out, be lazy. I don't give a shit. But all that being said, when these couple of weeks are over, you want to make sure that you're there for the beginning of the race. And each year is like that. The new year, the beginning of each year is like the beginning of another marathon, of another race, whatever. And so that being said, it shouldn't be taken lightly. It shouldn't be taken lightly. There's a lot you can do in a year. And the devil hates momentum. So if you can start your new year good, and if you can keep it going, you can keep it going the entire year. And then the year will be over, and then you can do it again the next year, and the next year, and the next year. And slowly but surely you're removing certain things from your life that detract from the quality of living, and you can add things that enhance the quality of life. And that's what you should do. And you shouldn't waste consciousness. You have a beautiful thing. You have consciousness, and what that allows you to do is to be aware of just be aware of things in general, and you can make decisions that would be good for you. And I'm kind of rambling here, so I'm gonna kind of make my point here. The new year is upon us. You can relax for a little bit, but when that new year, when the clock strikes 12 and you're kissing that girl and the fireworks are booming, there is no time to waste after that. And each day of the new year that you miss is just another excuse to wait until next year. And you don't want that, because you might not be able to see it, but your life has an end point, and it could be sooner than later. And so you want to make the most of your time on Earth here. So don't miss January 1st. Party, get hungover, I don't care, but you better be actively working towards that idealized version of yourself the second that you're not hungover anymore. Even if you are hungover, forget about it. Just do the things you have to do. And so, here are some of my recommendations for next year. Okay, some things you should try for a year. Some things are worth trying only if you do it for a year. And so I'm going to talk about those things. Here we go. I'm going to be doing these things personally. That's the point I'm making. I'm going to do these things personally. Me personally, I'm going to do these things for the new year. And I'm probably never going to leave this channel, so I'll be here to update you on how it went next year. and it'll be cool. It'll be like, I'm big and fat now, but maybe next year I won't be so fat, So join me on this journey into the new year to become like snow, which is to say, to become pure and to become beautiful. I don't know. So the first thing you should do, and I've already taken a lot of your time, so I'll hurry this up. The first thing you should do is you should stop eating processed shit, okay? The McDonald's and the ice cream and the candy and all that junk, just don't even fucking need it, all right? And I'm talking no cheat days. For a whole year, just see how you feel, man. For a whole year, with some exceptions on your birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, Halloween, special days, go ahead, yeah, eat a fucking ice cream, eat a cake, I don't care. But avoid overly processed foods. You can have a pizza every once in a while. You can home cook hamburgers, but you can even have a hot chocolate. There is such thing as moderation. There are certain exceptions to the rule, but as a general rule, no junk food. Okay, absolutely none. Just don't even think about it. Just get it out of your minds. Forget about it, and just see. I think even a week's time, you'll notice a difference. So just imagine if you could handle that for a year. I think you would completely change as a person. And that's kind of the idea behind this video and all these videos that I make, is that you want to change, and you want to change for the better. And there are certain things you can do to make that happen. So the first thing is no shitty junk food. Just don't even think about it. Forget about it. Home cook your meals. Have your mommy cook your meals for you. I don't care. The second thing, you got to get off the drugs, my friend. Unless you have a prescription. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not Dr. Jake. I'm a guy with his shirt off in the snow, making a cool YouTube video. No pun intended. But I'm not a doctor. But if you're using drugs recreationally, you should go ahead and do yourself a favor, and you should probably stop. The weed, the alcohol, the fentanyl. There's a fentanyl crisis for some reason. The heroin, the heth, all that shit. You got to get rid of it. You got to stop. You got to take the necessary steps in order to do that. And I'm not saying that beating a drug addiction is easy, but you got to stop it. You got to ask for help. You got to look to God. The first step in Alcoholics Anonymous is you have to go to a higher power. And God is that higher power, or the universe. I don't care. But what you got to do is you got to go to a higher power. And I do recommend Jesus Christ personally. But you have to go to a higher power and ask them to help you with your addiction, because that is what you have. You have an addiction, okay? If you're smoking weed every day, if you have temptations to smoke weed or cigarettes or even, energy drinks, whatever. What do kids do these days? Adderall. If you're cocaine, I don't know you. Maybe you're struggling with cocaine, okay? That you got to go to a higher power to help you with that. You have to go to your friends and family, and you have to be transparent with them and say, I have this problem. And one thing that I would really recommend is you have to find a reason to quit. Okay, obviously you're not going to stop using drugs if you don't have a reason. Because your brain just can't rationalize it. If it makes me feel good and it regulates my emotions, why would I give it up? You have to find a reason. And there are plenty of different reasons out there, but you have to find your own. For me personally, my mom doesn't like it, okay? Okay, I'm living with my mom right now. She doesn't like me smoking weed. I would feel kind of bad if I were living with her and I was smoking weed, and the whole time she's like, I wish Jake wasn't smoking weed. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, Mom, and I'm just smoking weed. That would be pretty gay. Okay, so you have to find a reason like that. That's my reason. You got to find your own reason. Okay, maybe your mom's dead. Maybe that reason isn't applicable to you. Find another reason. Okay, the third thing, you gotta stop with the porn. You gotta stop with the lustful imagery. And this is kind of a combined thing. Social media and porn are basically the same thing now. You cannot go on any social media website without seeing pornographic imagery. You have to be careful with this kind of thing, okay? Some websites are basically unusable. Twitter, 4chan, TikTok, basically unusable. You can't use them anymore, and I wish you could, because they're actually pretty fun to go on. You can find good art, you can find music, you can find all kinds of stuff, but they're basically unusable in terms of just like casually browsing. You can use them, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can use them if you're using them for a very specific purpose. But if you're going on them to just waste time, you will inevitably come across pornographic imagery, and that will really not help you in your fight against lust. And so you have to stop using pretty much all social media. Unless you are uploading shit like I am. If you're making music and art and you want to upload that, that's completely different. If you have a purpose for using the social media, if it's for work or a hobby, then that's different. Or you're watching your friend's YouTube video like you are right now, because you are my friend. And yeah, so if you have a specific YouTuber that you know isn't like posting, pussy pictures or whatever, then that's fine. But in general, be very careful when using social media, because it will tempt you into looking at pornography, and that you shouldn't do. And I'm not going to go into the big, deep reason why you shouldn't be looking at porn. It's kind of self-explanatory, okay? It's exploitive, it objectifies human beings, both men and women. It makes you insecure, it makes you anxious, it makes you addicted. It's lustful, I mean, I'm sure God is not a fan. Personally, I think God probably is like, you shouldn't watch that, and I would probably agree. Yeah, so that's that. So don't watch porn, and when you use social media, like all social media has porn on it. Even YouTube now, YouTube Shorts, there's always some kind of pornographic imagery. It's everywhere. So you have to be very careful when using the internet. Post your shit and then fuck off and read a book. Or have very specific YouTubers that you watch, like Vsauce. I'm sure Vsauce isn't posting porn. I know Cold Ones is pretty good. Brett and Link, if that's your thing. I'm not watching that because that's gay. I don't watch Reddit shit. But if that's your thing, go ahead. Basically, you just have to have discrepancy with these things. And you have to decide which YouTubers will be safe to watch and which aren't. And I'm going on. You get what I'm trying to say. The fourth thing I would say is you have to do things consistently. You should find some kind of passion project and you should stick with it, and you should resolve to I'll use myself as an example. For some people it might be like a business. You might want to start a business. For some people it might be like a relationship. Maybe you want a girlfriend. But basically you have a desire, right? And you can daydream about that desire all you want, but that's just going to make you miserable. So what you want to do, there's an Amazon guy pulling up into the driveway. That's quite a sight to see. But anyway, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take that desire, and it can be anything. Money, pussy. Okay, let's actually use real desires here. First of all, pick a noble desire. Don't pick some nonsense bullshit. Pick something actually decent. And then that desire, and instead of pussy, let me say like, a beautiful girlfriend. Or instead of money, you can say a fulfilling career. So don't just say like money or pussy or weed. Trust me, I know you want that, but what I'm saying here is you want to pick a desire that is noble. Okay, once you have that desire, you need to take the necessary steps in fulfilling that, in manifesting, let's say, that desire. And there are lots of different ways you can do that. And I'm not even going to go super into it, but basically you can look into esoteric practices. I'm not really saying law of attraction or anything like that, or law of assumption or whatever they say. But there is some versatility in focusing your mind on certain desires and, just constantly thinking about that thing you want to the point where it's almost obsessive. You're obsessed with it. You're obsessed with obtaining that desire. So, keep it in your mind always. Wake up, think about it. Go to bed, think about it. In the middle of the day when you're eating, think about it. Constantly be thinking about it and constantly be reaffirming that thing that you want. Now, that by itself is not going to be enough. Goodbye. Goodbye, Amazon guy. Whew, it's chilly out here. That in itself isn't going to be enough, okay? You're going to have to actually do shit to make... You can't just think about it. That's not going to be enough. That's like step one. And then you actually have to make a plan and then stick to it. So me personally, I don't want to say too much, but I want to make stuff. Okay, I'm kind of tired of like this whole vlogging thing. You can probably tell because I haven't been doing it so much. But I think I will keep doing it for the few people out there that watch it and enjoy it. But on top of this, I want to create animation. I want to create music again. And I want to create enough, I want to have a show at some point or something, some kind of cult following that will allow me to provide for myself just by creating stuff. And it's definitely possible. I know that it's possible beyond belief, but it's also, it's going to take attention and time and a plan. And so I'm going to have a plan, and I'm not going to tell you the plan, because if I tell you the plan and it doesn't come true, you're going to call me a big fucking phony. So I'm not going to tell you the plan, but I have a plan. I plan on sticking to that plan, and you have to do the same for your desire. So that's the other thing for the new year. And so basically, and that's basically it. The rest of it is kind of commentary. Because the rest of it should be self-explanatory. My legs are getting very numb, so I'm going to try and wrap this up. But the rest of it, oh my gosh. The rest of it is pretty self-explanatory, I think. Spend time with the people you love, cherish the people you love, get right with God, always be a good person, do not let evil thoughts take over. And you will have evil thoughts. I still do. Everyone has evil thoughts, but you have to ask God for help with that. And there's pretty much no other way around it if you're like me. And maybe you're not like me. Maybe you believe in science. Maybe you're the kind of person that says, "Oh my science," instead of "Oh my goodness." But I don't recommend just taking the drugs, man. Don't just take the drugs. God is real, man. I'm sorry, but it's true. God is real. And you just gotta take that on the chin, man. It's the truth. And take it from me. Source, dude, just trust me. And so, what you gotta do is you gotta believe in God. You gotta believe in Jesus Christ. You have to stop doing drugs. You have to stop eating shitty food. You have to use social media very carefully and not let porn ruin your life. And I know you're like, oh, okay, so if I just stop smoking weed and watching porn and stop eating junk food, that's going to fix all my problems? Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, pretty much all problems can be summed up in that way. And then also pursuing your desire and getting right with God. And that's not to say that life is going to be easy or that it's going to be without suffering. In fact, if you're trying to quit shit, there's going to be a lot of suffering. But I'm just taking you with me at this point. Listen, what I'm trying to say is, with each new year, there's another opportunity to become somebody else. And if you're not happy with who you are, this is the time to start making some big changes in your life and sticking with it. Not like all the other years where you bitched out after the first week. This time, you are going to stick with it. So, and also lift weights, exercise daily, eat good food, Basically everything I said don't do, just do the opposite of that. So instead of watching porn, go find a nice girl and rizz her up. Instead of eating shitty food, eat good food. Instead of going on social media, read books, go on a run, lift weights. Just do good stuff. Don't do bad stuff. All right. Go watch JCast episode 6. Get your shit together. And that's basically the idea of this video. But it's a little more kino because it's snowing. You guys like how I did that? The first video was called I Am to Become One with the Snow, and now it's snowing. I was kind of hoping the snow would build up a little more, but you can see some of it. There's a little bit of snow. It's probably going to be, there's going to be more of it later. But basically what I'm trying to say is life can be good, and it doesn't have to be the same shit it's always been for the past 30 years or however long you've been like this fucking mess. So, I guess that's basically it. I'll see you guys throughout the year. I'm not going to stop posting, but let's tackle the new year in a good and healthy way. Okay, guys, life is good. God is good. You are good. Human beings are naturally good. We're divine. We're divine creatures, and it's time we start acting like it.